Walking away isn't weakness, but it's wisdom, Carl Jung. The deepest wounds are not inflicted by staying, but by refusing to leave when your soul is screaming for freedom. There comes a moment in every human journey when the universe whispers a truth so profound, so necessary, that it shakes the very foundation of who we thought we were. Today we explore one of the most misunderstood acts of courage in the human experience, the sacred art of walking away. Carl Jung once wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." But what happens when that irritation becomes a mirror reflecting our own need to release what no longer serves our becoming? Walking away is not abandonment, it is not failure, it is not the coward's escape that society has conditioned us to believe. Walking away is the soul's recognition that some chapters must end for others to begin. It is the psyche's wisdom, choosing growth over comfort, truth over familiarity, authenticity over approval. In the depths of our unconscious mind, Jung discovered what he called the self, that integrated wholeness we are all journeying toward. Sometimes reaching that wholeness requires us to consciously choose separation from people, situations, and even parts of ourselves that keep us fragmented, diminished, or trapped in patterns that no longer honor who we are becoming. Think about the relationships in your life right now, the ones that drain your energy like slow leaks in your spirit, the conversations that leave you feeling smaller rather than expanded, the environments where you find yourself performing a version of yourself that feels foreign, inauthentic, exhausting. Jung understood that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, but becoming requires releasing who you are not. It requires the courage to disappoint others in order to honor yourself. It requires walking away from the familiar prison of others' expectations and stepping into the uncertain freedom of your own truth. This is not selfish. This is sacred. When we stay in situations that diminish us out of obligation, fear, or guilt, we are not serving anyone. We become resentful versions of ourselves, shadows of our potential, bitter reminders of dreams deferred. Jung called this the shadow, the parts of ourselves we hide, repress, or deny. When we refuse to walk away from what harms us, we feed our shadow and starve our light. But walking away is an act of profound self-love. It is choosing your mental health over social comfort. It is choosing your spiritual growth over emotional safety nets that have become spiritual straitjackets. It is choosing the unknown territory of your authentic self over the mapped roads of other people's plans for your life. Jung reminds us, your vision becomes clear when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Walking away is that awakening. It is the moment you stop looking to others for permission to live your truth and start trusting the wisdom that has been whispering to you all along. I know this is difficult. I know the voices in your head are loud right now, the ones telling you that walking away makes you selfish, ungrateful, weak. These are not your voices. These are the voices of conditioning, of fear, of a world that benefits when you stay small and compliant. Your true voice, the one Jung called the voice of the self, is quieter, but infinitely wiser. It knows that some relationships are lessons, not lifetimes. It knows that some chapters must close for the story to continue. It knows that sometimes love means letting go, even when, especially when, it breaks your heart to do so. Walking away is not just leaving a situation. It is a death and rebirth process. Jung wrote extensively about what he called the transcendent function, the psychological process by which we integrate opposing forces within ourselves to reach a higher level of consciousness. Walking away often triggers this sacred process. When you walk away from a toxic relationship, you are not just leaving that person. You are leaving the version of yourself that tolerated being treated poorly. When you walk away from a job that suffocates your spirit, you are not just changing careers. You are choosing the person you are becoming over the security of who you have been. This is transformation at its most fundamental level. This is the hero's journey Jung wrote about. The leaving of the familiar world, the journey through uncertainty, and the return as a more integrated, authentic being. But here is the paradox that Jung understood so deeply. We must be willing to walk away from everything to discover what truly belongs in our lives. We must be willing to lose our false selves to find our true ones. We must be willing to disappoint who we were to become who we are meant to be. This is not cruelty. This is consciousness. This is not abandonment. This is arrival at the doorstep of your own soul. If you are listening to this and feeling the stirring of recognition, if there is something or someone in your life that your soul is asking you to release, know that this stirring is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is your unconscious mind in all its infinite intelligence preparing you for the next phase of your evolution. Jung believed that the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Walking away is often the first step in that acceptance. It is saying yes to who you are by saying no to what diminishes you. It is choosing the terrifying beauty of authenticity over the familiar comfort of compromise. Sometimes walking away looks like ending a friendship that has become one-sided and draining. Sometimes it looks like leaving a relationship where love has been replaced by habit and resentment. Sometimes it looks like changing careers, moving cities, or simply saying no to invitations that feel heavy rather than joyful. But always, walking away is an act of honoring the sacred contract you have with your own soul, the promise to protect your peace, nurture your growth, and refuse to abandon yourself for the comfort of others. Jung wrote, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Walking away is that choice in action. It is the moment you stop being the victim of your circumstances and start being the author of your story. It is the moment you realize that your life is not something that happens to you. It is something you create, consciously, courageously, one choice at a time. And yes, it will be difficult. Yes, there will be guilt, fear, and moments of doubt. Yes, others may not understand. But Jung also said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." The difficulty you feel about walking away is not a sign that you shouldn't do it. It is a sign of how necessary it is. As you prepare to make these difficult but necessary choices, remember that walking away is not the end of your capacity to love. It is the beginning of learning to love wisely. It is not the death of your compassion. It is the birth of compassion that includes yourself. You can love someone and still walk away. You can be grateful for what was while choosing what will be. You can honor the past while refusing to be imprisoned by it. This is the mature love Jung spoke of, love that is not possessive or needy, but free and honoring of everyone's highest good. When you walk away from what diminishes you, you create space for what will elevate you. When you release relationships based on obligation, you make room for connections based on genuine affinity and mutual growth. When you stop trying to fix others, you finally have energy to heal yourself. This is not selfish. This is necessary. This is not weak. This is wise. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of the chapter, where you finally become the author. Jung spent his life studying the human journey toward wholeness. He understood that this journey requires us to face our shadows, integrate our opposites, and sometimes walk away from everything we thought we needed in order to discover what we truly require. You have that same wisdom within you. You have that same courage. You have that same right to choose growth over comfort, authenticity over approval, truth over convenience. The path of individuation, of becoming who you truly are, is not for the faint of heart. But it is for you. It has always been for you. As Jung so beautifully expressed, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Sometimes walking away from others is actually walking toward yourself. Sometimes leaving is the most loving thing you can do, for them, but especially for you. Trust the stirring in your soul. Trust the wisdom that whispers when the world is quiet. Trust that you have the strength to make the choices that will honor your deepest truth. Walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom, it's courage. It's love in its most mature and conscious form. As Carl Jung reminds us, the most intense conflicts, if overcome, leave behind a sense of security and calm that is not easily disturbed. Your peace is worth fighting for. Your authenticity is worth choosing. You are worth walking away for. If this reflection spoke to your soul, if these words found the places in your heart that needed to hear them, Subscribe. You are not alone in this journey. The path of becoming who you truly are is one we walk together. Even when we must walk it bravely, even when we must walk away, the journey is just beginning.